My name is Hex, certified resident Roxanne expert. Recently, FNAF Security Breach Ruin was released. Fortunately for me, I took the entire week off of work just to play the DLC. Roxy. It was a lot of fun, but I figured since my channel completely exploded thanks to Ruin Roxanne and her exceptional design, and since we have a lot more info on what's going on inside of Ruin, it's time for a Roxanne update. Kill me! So that way, you guys know my updated opinion on Ruin Roxanne. Ah! Okay, so before we get into the main bulk of Roxanne today, let's summarize my previous statements about Ruin Roxanne and Roxanne in general. Previously on Hex Plays Ruin. I previously talked about how Shattered Roxanne is a much better representation of Roxanne. Her eyes are crying black tears like her makeup is running, she's covered in smudge marks and cracks, she's missing casing which makes her ugly, her
hair is ruined.
All based around the idea that this narcissist got what she deserved. Now, what does Ruin Roxanne present that Shattered Roxanne doesn't? She's got a funny face now. Now, in the second part of my Ruin Roxanne rant, I went back on a couple of my points and defended Ruin Roxanne's design to an extent. One of the big ones was that removing her face removes her identity, which seemed relevant at the time. And I forgave the design changes under the idea of, okay, I'm fine if they change her design, as long as they tell us in Ruin why she changed. And Ruin came out like 2 weeks ago, so they told us why she changed, right? Right? So back to present times. Did Steel Wool answer the important question of what happened to Roxanne? No! They did what I told them not to!
I mean, I'm fine with Steel Wool deciding to change Roxanne Wolf so that we can jam the fixing tool straight into her eye sockets, as long as they give a good reason for changing her design. And they don't just pull a, we changed her design because it was funny, and fuck you for thinking you were gonna save her in the DLC, she's dead now forever!
My one big gripe with Ruin Roxanne was the design changes. Ruin Roxanne's design was almost completely different from Shattered Roxanne. She has a new jaw piece, a new eye piece, her ribcage thing is gone, her interior endo is different, her ears are completely different, her hair attaches behind her casing despite that not making sense, the green hair swoop attaches to the endo despite that not making sense, her head casing is legitimately a different part and material. All changes that I can remember off the top of my head just glancing at her model. Now in the initial Ruin Roxanne videos, I didn't even fully get into all of those design details. I just focused on the eyepiece and the jaw, and everyone told me to wait. To hold on until the DLC came out, where Steel Wool would answer all of our questions. Well, I'm still waiting! Steel Wool literally said, her design is different now, get over it. It wasn't enough to just change her face. No, they had to change her hair for some reason. How Roxanne's hair attached originally was completely different from this. And if you think I'm crazy, I am. Just to show you guys that I'm not crazy, I was gonna learn how to use Blender just so I could port in Roxanne's model and analyze it even further. But it turns out you don't need to do that because there's this website that does it for you. It's called Sketchfab. I don't know, man. I'm not the 3D model expert over here. So I'm gonna be doing like a completely live analysis here. This is not scripted. I legitimately just found these models and I'm gonna be comparing them now. Like I've genuinely done like nothing with 3D models like ever. The most I've done is I've made a filing cabinet inside of Blender. You know, I bet I still have the file. Hold on. Oh my god, I do. Look at that beauty. That is a beautiful filing cabinet that probably took me like 2 hours. Okay, so let's look at normal Roxanne first. I don't know why, but this looks slightly different.
I mean, it says it's the original model, so I'm gonna trust them.
See, just like that. That's how the ears work. This is how the hair swoop works. Everything makes sense. And then we move over to you. She loses her armband. Her hair stops making sense. Seriously, Roxanne's hair will always be an enigma to me. Like, what is even happening here? It's so shiny, it looks like it's made of metal, but it separates. Like, what? Yup, Roxanne, she looks good. What a surprise. I never even noticed this. Why does she have, like, claw marks on her chest? Like, what is this about? Would you, like, get heartburn or something? One thing I am also noticing that I've never actually noticed before, it looks like the metal rib cage thing that I've always kind of poked at. Looks like that's actually part of the casing, which is definitely something I did not know. Okay, let's look at you now. I don't know why the lighting on this model is so much more dim.
Okay, so here we can kind of start to see the differences.
As stated previously, her rib cage is gone, and there's like no remnant of it at all. It's just like Thanos snapped gone. Her endo is definitely different though. That is just like 100% a different endo. What in the F is this? That is not correct. This would 100% interrupt with the casing. That's just not correct. No. No. No! Also, she has, like, new shoulder pads, which... What? She didn't even remotely have those. One thing I am seeming to notice, these orange cables, they've come from these, like, black cables. Because, like, just looking at her model here, there are no orange cables. But Ruin Roxanne is just full of them. She also has some sort of, like, neck armor. See, look, right here. This is something that Shattered Roxanne has. Is this little... whatever this is. And it's, like, right up against the casing. You pan over to Ruin Roxanne here, and it's not. Now you got whatever this thing is. Like, the casing would overlap that. You can see it. Okay, there's probably enough staring at her chest now. Let's talk about the other areas. One incredible thing I am noticing, everything below her belt is almost very identical. You got the two-segmented tail here. Obviously, it's worn down a little bit since Shattered. The only thing that really irritates me is her waist here. It just brings up more questions than answers. Because like you can see here on Shattered Roxanne, it's made of like the same kind of stuff the casing is. And it's all like cracked and shattered. Got some oil residue on it, as it should be. But then Ruin Roxanne, it's like the same stuff the endos are made out of. And instead of cracking and shattering, it dents. You can see around the oval here, there's no like cracks or anything. It dents, it doesn't shatter, which is very questionable. Also, her belt famously vanishes. Okay, you can put away the Rock raising his eyebrow gif now. Okay, I'm moving away from her waist. Let's talk about the big one now, which honestly I feel like I don't even need to. Just, bruh. Okay, let's start with the obvious one, the eyes. They're a little bit different. I mean, just looking at like a side-by-side comparison here, I think my point still stands, honestly. I don't think this eyepiece does fit inside of her original casing. I know they did the whole AR thing where you could see the casing on her. I have no proof that they didn't modify that. Here you can see her fake jawline attached to the mystical eyepiece helmet attachment thing, which indicates that, yes, I wasn't wrong. This is just straight up a helmet, because there's her original endo in there. There's that vent design that you can see right here. Here's her horrible bald spot. And of course, let's not forget about the nonsensical ears, which make me question living. Just like, what? 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 Those ears did not even remotely exist. And don't even get me started on her magical hair swoop, which just kind of sticks onto her skull helmet thing, which is definitely not how it originally attached, because the skull thing wasn't there. And then of course her nonsensical hair. Good God. I mean, Roxanne's hair has never really made sense, even on original Roxanne here. Like, the hair just makes no sense. Where does it attach to? What is it made of? How does it work? I don't know. I should know. I can't really call myself the Roxanne expert if I don't know. But I legitimately do not know. And on Ruin Roxanne, it's just, logic is thrown out the window. And I know a lot of people are probably like, oh, you're not supposed to be comparing this to Ruin Roxanne because this is below the casing. So, like, you're not supposed to see that. Here's the thing. I can 100% see this. This is like the main area where my eyes go to, is her face. There's how the ears attach onto here, which is connected to the eye sockets, and I'm just supposed to magically believe that this just manifested out of thin air. It's just hard, you know? It's hard because of how different it is. It's like jarring. Like the black cords are all gone. She's got like a new housing. She's got some horrible posture. Her waist is like completely different. And then obviously her head. It's just so confusing. Okay, just for reference, I went ahead and grabbed Ruin Chica's model because I remembered this on Ruined Chica. The same kind of rib cage thing. And there's the thing, the whatever this is. Here's the yellow thing, which you can see underneath Roxanne's helmet. Like, aside from the casing, Roxanne's endo is very similar to Chica's. Any thoughts in here? Nope, didn't think so. Head empty, as they say. Like, I'm honestly just shocked. I don't know if someone, like, tried repairing her and decided, oh, I'm not gonna actually repair her, I'm just gonna give her armor and a goofy ass helmet, and she really needs something to cover up her waist, so I'm gonna give her this, which is just so weird. And also, I know they did this for like the purposes of keep her like iconic head shape, which like I can understand, but at least try to make it a little bit logical. It's not hard to see that this thing is literally just floating on her head. Honestly, I'm really disappointed that we don't have some sort of explanation for why Ruin Roxanne is different. Like, this is FNAF, where design details like this matter. Kind of. I mean, obviously not all the time, but you know what I mean. But in a world where looking at the fingers of these animatronics and comparing them to completely different looking animatronics, like the Mimic and Burn Trap, and we're like, oh yeah, these are the same guy. Why are we literally ignoring the fact that Ruin Roxanne's infrastructure and design is completely different? I mean, she literally has a different head design. And this is dead ass a different endo. And Roxanne has like a brand new role inside of FNAF. The main character is literally like, oh my gosh, Roxanne, I love you so much. I feel like not enough people are talking about this. Who knows, maybe I'm griping a bit too much. Maybe I'm not a true FNAF fan who can wait 4 years as to why something's changed. But yeah, no, if you guys have any sort of like reasoning or explanation or any theories as to why she's different now, go ahead and put it in the comments. If someone makes a valid enough point, or a valid enough criticism, or just something to answer what's going on here, I'll make a follow-up. But until then, I'm good. Alright, that's my monthly Roxanne rant. I know a lot of you are probably wondering where the Ruin analysis is. Don't worry, I'm still gonna make a video talking about the entirety of Ruin. It's just taken me a second to make. I figured I'd make a separate video just for Roxanne, because she deserves it. And also because it's funnier that way. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to tell me in the comments what you think of Roxanne's new design. For every new subscriber on this video, I will stare at Roxanne's model for another hour. No, I will not specify where. Okay! Bye! She has a new jaw piece, a new eye piece, her ribcage thing is gone, her interior endo is different, her ears are completely different, her hair attaches despite... Oh my goodness, this is a long line. Okay. She has a new jaw piece, a new eye piece, her ribcage thing is gone, her interior endo is different, her ears are completely different, her hair attaches behind her casing despite... Her hair attaches behind her head despite not... Whew, man. Her hair attaches behind her casing, despite that not making sense. Holy hell. Her interior endo is different. Her ears making any sense. The green hair swoop attaches to the endo. Her hair attaches behind her casing, despite that. I don't know if I can legitimately do this. Her hip casing is legitimately a different part and material. All that I can remember off the top of my head. Man, all of that, and then my voice cracks. Man, that is disheartening. She has a new jaw piece, a new eye piece. Her ribcage thing is gone. Her interior endo is different. Her ears are completely different. Her hair attaches behind her casing, despite that not making sense. The green hair swoop attaches to the endo, despite that not making sense. Her hip casing is legitimately a different part and material. All changes that I can remember off the top of my head just glancing at her model. Oh. Finally. Good God. How many takes was that? I don't know.